Welcome back to the Keep It Kula Podcast. This is an emergency podcast. Texted Cousin Owen here that we had to hop on today. Last night, after the podcast was uploaded, Kyle Tucker signed with the Dodgers. We will talk about that soon. But breaking news, which is even bigger, that happened just a couple hours ago, is that Bichette has signed with the New York Mets on a 3-year, $126 million deal. Let's break that down first and then talk about Tucker. First of all, reaction to Bo leaving TO, going to New York.
Yeah, Jaclyn, it's pretty brutal. We said yesterday if they go 0 for 2, we said less than 24, maybe a little over 24 hours ago, if they go 0 for 2, it's a huge failure.
Yeah.
And it was a sign because they went 0 for 2. Reaction to Bo signing, yeah, it's horrible. I was hoping we'd get him back. Really not happy. He's a great player, still in his prime. Injury prone a little bit, but he's 27, had many good years left. Probably could have played, I don't know, second base, third base, wherever we kind of needed him. Maybe a little bit of shortstop if that's what they needed. It's terrible. I don't know. I feel like the whole offseason's a failure. I don't want to just summarize, but I mean, in a way, it just feels like the whole thing's a failure this offseason, honestly. So
right now, in this moment, it is a failure. And I have that in my notes. And it says, is this season a failure? Is this offseason a failure? And right now, yes. Yes, we got great pieces on pitching. Yes, we got Kazuma Okamoto, who I'm really excited about. But we were eyeing another big bat in the MLB, and that was either going to be Tucker or Bo. There's even talks about getting them both. And, I thought maybe we could get them both. That was being a little bit too excited about stuff. However, I never thought that we would land neither of them. It was always Bo or Kyle. It was never none of them in the span of less than 24 hours. So last night, I want to talk about this Bo thing, but last night, man, you texted me about Kyle going to the Dodgers. I didn't get a notification. I didn't even see it on Twitter yet. And my main reaction to Kyle Tucker going to the Dodgers for 4 years and $240 million. Okay, he's getting paid more a year than anyone, than Vladdy, than Aaron Judge. I was not upset for the Blue Jays. I was angry at what baseball has become, of how Kyle Tucker is now going to be, the fifth best player on that team? Not a franchise player? You're joining a team that has $1 trillion, that will win the World Series every year, that can clearly do it all, and you're going to sign there? Where is that fighter mentality of athletes? So that was my reaction. And you texted me. You said that you have the ick.
I don't even like that word. To me, that's like a weird, to be honest with you, Jaclyn, it's like a weird word that girls use for guys they were into and they don't like anymore. It's like some weird word that people in their teens and 20s use. I remember at university, the girls I was friends with would say it a lot. And I was like, yo, I don't really like that word. It's a weird word.
Say it. Yeah.
But I actually, that's kind of how I was feeling in the moment. Dude, it's so it's also cringy. You went with the team that he pulled a Durant. As far as I'm concerned, he pulled a Durant. You went to the team that already is back-to-back championships to join the aura, join the clout. Yeah, it's if you ask me right now in this moment, it's a wrap. The Mets have no, so good for the Mets. They cost themselves 250. They're nothing compared to the Dodgers. The Dodgers, Jaclyn, they're going from let's say it, the second best or the best team, and they just got better. They had another great, and yes, they overpaid him, but it doesn't matter because, correct me if I'm wrong, Magic Johnson is still the owner or part owner, right?
They have too much money.
But that's my point. It doesn't matter about Magic Johnson. My point is they have $1 trillion, gazillion, hyper billion dollars. It's not even a word, but I just said, and they can throw around as much money as they want. So it's terrible. I'm expecting them to go for the three-peat like the Chiefs attempted, except I think they might be successful. Their pitching is unbelievable, Jaclyn. Their hitting is unbelievable. Their closers are unbelievable. Their catching is unbelievable. There's nothing not unbelievable about that team. It's actually funny, Jaclyn, if you said to me, where do you think their weakest point is? It might be catching, but their catching is good. By the way, their catching is good. Don't get me wrong. It's just compared to how great their pitching and hitting is, okay, maybe. And by the way, there could be someone who fact checks me here. Like, fact check me, guys. Like, maybe it's not their catching. I don't know. My only point being is they're so stacked. It's like they have no weaknesses. They didn't need him. Like, I don't know if you agree with me. Forget about it being cringy. Do you agree with me that they didn't actually need the guy?
They didn't need him whatsoever. He is like, yeah, as I said, like the sixth best player on the team, maybe, if even, right? They did not need this guy, right? We saw what they did in the World Series, right? They were fantastic. That entire lineup, Rojas, like freaking beat us. The ninth guy in the
I
lineup.
I I am curious, Jaclyn. Like, I wonder, and there's no point of us speculating, but maybe you can look into this between podcasts. I don't know.
Sure.
Maybe there's a way we could look at this. I would estimate between 70 to 80%, maybe even higher, 85% of rosters, he's a top three hitter on, right? Like,
Yeah,
you just said it, top six on their team. That's how good they are.
maybe top six.
Maybe top six. Okay, that's absurd. That's absurd. And listen, good for them. Like, they're not, Tom Brady, he loves to talk about like not being complacent, not being like, you know what? I just won the championship, so this year I'm gonna relax. I respect they're not being complacent. They're like, no, we're
No.
going for three. We're going for that three-peat. I respect it, but at the same time, it is a shame that baseball has literally just turned into a sport of we have money, we use money. Like, I don't know. To me, if you're a smaller market, it's not necessarily equal. So yeah, I mean, Los Angeles is obviously the preseason favorites, and the Jays really let their fans down. Like, more than even like the team itself. It's like, as a fan, when we've been speculating for weeks, and some can even say months, about getting one of these two guys, and then you get neither. I also do want to finish my thought with, I think Bo was probably insulted. There's probably a big part of him that was like, you know what? Fuck you guys. Sorry, I don't know if I should have just sworn on the
Okay, go
podcast.
for it. No, you're good.
But like, F you guys, right? Like, you wanted Tucker, you made me second fiddle. And I don't see it as a coincidence, Jacqueline, that he waited only a few hours. I really feel like it was like, I'm gonna stick it to these guys. I'm gonna stick it to them good, and like,
Interesting, because the way I see it with the Mets is that they tried to get Tucker, and because the Mets were in the running when he signed with the Dodgers, that's when they made this really nice offer to Bo.
but
That's how I feel, but I understand what you mean by they may have been putting a little too much energy into Kyle Tucker all this time when they should have just been focusing on Bo, and maybe Bo took offense to
the
that.
the other thing I'll say, Jacqueline, is Bo is not coming like from the Mets, right? So the Mets didn't get him, but the Mets aren't the ones slighting him, right? If he's going to take slight, it's from the Jays. So the Jays were the team he's with for 7 years, I believe.
Yeah,
So
something like that.
it's possible he's thinking like, these guys were all over Tucker. Tucker doesn't want to be with them. Like, you know what? Like, if I'm not the guy, then like, forget. Because look, Jacqueline, he hits the home run in the World Series, right? So tell me if I'm wrong, Jacqueline. Well, we can even role play this right now, which will sound funny, but like, you're Bo, okay?
Okay.
We're sitting down, season just ended, you hit the home run, okay?
Yeah.
We're talking, like, we're doing our small talk. I look at you and I go, Bo, here's the bottom line. We're gonna take care of you defensively, okay? If you're stuck on shortstop, we'll get you in sometimes at shortstop, but we'll need you to be flexible. Maybe play some second, play some third. If you're Bo, you're probably, yeah, you know what? That sounds fair.
Sure.
I would look,
Yeah.
sir. This is what I'd look at you and I'd say, Bo, I'd say you've been an integral part of this franchise. Yes, there's been some injury scares. Yes, it hasn't been perfect. What is it going to take for this deal to get done? No nonsense, no games, no you shopping around. What does it take for us to get this done now, so the talk and the speculation's over? And if Atkins said that, do you not think he's a Blue Jay today?
I think that he may have said that, and maybe Bo wanted Vladdy money.
So here's
I
the
know he's
thing.
not
So
getting Vladdy money
right.
in New York, and
so
maybe to stay here, he wanted that.
So here's the problem too, I guess, with what I'm saying, Jonathan, is when I say what's going to take to get done, I would then, if he then said that, I would say we have to be reasonable,
Right.
right? Like that, I would then counter, and then he counters back, well, that's reasonable to me. So you're right, maybe Atkins did say that, but I don't know. I feel like if they were hungrier for Bo, like Bo would be here. It's just my feeling.
Yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from. Clearly, they didn't make it aggressive enough. Possibly, maybe Listen, 3 years. Sorry, what is it? 3 years, 100.
126.
Yeah, thank
126.
you, thank you. I could definitely see the Blue Jays making that offer. Like, I don't know why they would not make an offer. Maybe they wanted something more long term.
Well, I was
Um,
going to say, didn't the Jays offer longer, if I'm not wrong? Like,
I know they were for Tucker, so I assume that they were offering the same kind of thing for Bo, right? They want franchise guys.
yeah.
But I read, I believe, I can't remember who reported it. Maybe it was Jeff Passan. I can't remember. But Bo Bichette apparently was not thrilled about playing on the turf that Rogers Center has. And that could have been a part of why he left. It's giving me MetLife vibes with the Giants, but he didn't want to have to play here, right? He is now in the National League, right? So we only really see him once a year, right? That apparently could have been a reason why he left as well. But then you wouldn't think he would be milking it so long, considering the season ended back on November 1st. So the fact that it went this long, I would still feel like that's not necessarily why he left, but it could have played a factor on why he wanted to get out of Rogers Center.
Yeah. I mean, again, you know, similar to kind of our talk yesterday about the wives and all this different stuff. I don't think those mini school. I'm not saying it's minuscule. I know that might play a factor. I don't know if that's the ultimate decision. Could it influence? Of course, it could kind of tip the scales. I
Yeah.
just have a feeling if Atkins sat him down and was like, "Hey, like, whatever it takes, be reasonable. Like, we have a lot of mouths to feed within
Yeah.
reason. Like, let's get this done." I feel like it would have been done. Here's the thing, Jaclyn. You're saying Atkins might have said that to him. Where's the evidence on that? And the reason I say that to you, Jaclyn, is if they're pursuing Tucker so heavily, you can't say that to Bo, right? Because what you could say to Bo is you could say, we don't care about Tucker. We don't care about the speculation. You're our priority. What's the
Right.
number? Make the number reasonable, please. Like, work with us here. We're trying to build a championship roster. You saw how close we are. If you are reasonable, we'll still pay you handsomely. We can get it done. We don't want Tucker. We want you. I have a hard time seeing Bo being like, you know what? Forget about everything I built this last decade. No, I'm leaving. So I just have a feeling that that wasn't Atkins' tone. I have a feeling he probably played middle ground, right? Like negotiated with him.
Yeah.
Tucker, like,
But then at the same time, we also don't know how Bo was feeling, right? Like first of all, you never know how someone's actually feeling. But at the same time, Bo is also a very quiet person. He's not a Vlad. He's not a Springer, right? He's not kind of out there talking all the talk all the time. He's very to himself. But based on what Bo has said to the media, he says very little to everybody. But what he has said is that he wants to be here. He wants to play with Vladdy, right? Vladdy has only ever said that since he's been a Blue Jays that he wants to play with Bo for the rest of his career, right? Vladdy signs a 14-year deal last year, right? 500 mil. And you would think that would make Bo want to stay, right? He's come up with Vladdy, he came up with John Schneider as well as his manager. To be here for this long and to also have the support that the Blue Jays fans have given him all this time for mistakes. Listen, he was fantastic when he was healthy last year, obviously, and then this past end of October, early November, hitting the home run in Game 7. We have stood by him in these droughts that he's been as well, and it just feels. I'm speaking as a fan here. You and I are speaking as fans, right? I'm not speaking as a reporter right now. I'm not speaking as someone just explaining things. I understand, but as a fan of this team, I feel very hurt by him leaving. I feel like he could have figured out a way to stay.
I also do, and I think it's fair you feel hurt, John. I think a lot of Jays fans are hurt right now. I think the bigger thing, like we see it time and time again, like money talks. Like it's interesting to me. The greatest athlete to ever live, and again, feel free in the comments to disagree with me. I think this is kind of a fun debate I'm going to bring up right now. To me, the greatest athlete to ever live is Tom Brady, and for sure the best football player to ever live. That's not even a debate. And he took tons of discounts. The irony is Tom Brady will probably be a billionaire at some point, right? That's the irony. He'll probably end up being a billionaire, but he took a lot of discounts. So it's interesting. Like most of the time, these guys are seeking the most amount of money possible. But to me, I think you're going to be making generational money anyways. Why not maybe make a little bit less?
Yeah. Like, why do you need to be
Stay where
making
you are.
40 plus mil a year, right?
Right. So let's say he took 33 a year or 34 a year and continues to build, wins a championship in Toronto. You're going to still get that money in some other way, sponsors, brand deals, I don't know, if he works in TV after his career, he's going to get that money regardless. So
Yeah.
to me, it's just sad because it's greedy, right? Like it's just sports is a very greedy game, and he took the most money possible. I don't. I to be honest, Jaclyn, I don't think he thought about anything but the dollar sign. And by the way,
Yeah.
same with Tucker. Tucker, yeah, championships for sure because he's going to a clout chase or a chasing team, but also he's making an insane amount of money.
And you know, I'm not here to discredit Kyle Tucker's career, but he's not good enough for this kind of money. And I would be very upset if the Blue Jays paid this kind of money for Kyle Tucker. I'm not just saying this because he didn't sign here, right? There was questions about Vladdy being overpaid. Those questions are gone. I never want to hear anyone say that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is being overpaid for 14 years. 500
Tucker's
million.
making way more. What do you mean Tucker's making way more?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, exactly. The fact that Kyle Tucker is making 200. No, so let me hear. If I wasn't saying it properly, Vladdy's making $500 million for 14 years, and there was an outpour of people saying that he's being overpaid. Look at what he did this postseason, and now look at Kyle Tucker, who is making way more money a year.
Is it four? Is it 240?
4 years, $240 million.
He's making like, I'm trying to do the math on this, but he's legitimately making like 2.5 times the amount of Vladdy. I think it's like 2.5 the amount.
Yeah, exactly. For 4 years, he's making $240 million. Like, it's hard to process that kind of money to begin with. But then you look at a guy like Vladdy and a guy like Kyle Tucker. I'm picking Vladdy, right? Not only is he a superstar, but he is a franchise face.
The only thing I'll say, Jaclyn, is like they basically just said like we're putting our chips in the middle and good luck to the rest of the league. Like they basically just said, catch us if you can. We already are back-to-back champions, and we're gonna be unstoppable.
It's unbelievable because there's so many superstars that would get paid way more money than like Aaron Judge is making nothing compared to this. Okay.
I also will say, Jaclyn, if you had unlimited money and you had an amazing roster and you have a chance to make it even more unbelievable, would you not do the same thing?
Yes, but that comes to my next point now of is there gonna be a lockout in baseball? Because there are lots of questions about that, lots of rumors, talks going on. Is in 2027 is there gonna be a lockout? Because things like this is going to keep on happening if there's no change the way that because the cap space is something that we don't see in other sports. I mean, now we see in other sports, right? That's why the Patriots haven't gotten, every single superstar forever to play with Brady, right? We haven't seen that in hockey. That's why, Connor McDavid hasn't teamed up with Austin Matthews and whoever else. But baseball, you can do what you want with how much money you have. And that is going to create a lot of issues because now, you think the Rockies have a chance? You think the Pirates have a chance? Baseball will not be watchable anymore if this continues to happen, and there truly can be a lockout in 2027.
It's interesting. Are you talking about a lockout in terms of so I'm not like so knowledgeable in terms of the Players Association and like I know how money works, of course. To me, basically, it's unlimited money. Like this is the way I view baseball compared to basketball, hockey, what am I forgetting? Basketball, hockey, and football. Is there like what's the base of the lockout? Like I just want to know what your claim is or
pretty
much,
is. As I said before, like if you're Rockies, if you're Pirates, like there's no question that you cannot compete with a team like the Dodgers.
Right.
The Marylands, the Marlins don't have any money. Most teams are not. Listen, teams are rich. They're billions of dollars. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Or whatever, millions and millions. But when you have one team that is like, they're quadrillionaires, how is it fair in sports anymore? So I think that's what it's going to come down to, that other teams are not going to want to play. A team like the Marlins, the Rockies, the Pirates, whatever smaller markets that there may be, the Rays, they're going to probably boycott whatever we see happening. And there's going to be a lockout until there can be an agreement with every owner and every franchise to figure out a way to make baseball fun again. Listen, have your great teams, of course, but there has to be some sort of system that makes it fair because this is professional baseball we're watching, right? It's not like Little League or whatever where like you can build your own team, like you can pick all your friends on your team and whatever, like just dominate. Like this is professional baseball that we pay money to go see. right? People pay for TV subscriptions. They pay for jerseys to wear. They pay for tickets to go to the actual games. Do you want to go to a game where you know your team has no chance at all? So I think that's kind of what it comes down to when looking at a potential lockout. Obviously, this is just fans talking. No actual insider is saying that there is going to be a lockout. However, there will be discussions between insiders, I'm sure, of potentially having a lockout following this next season.
Yeah, I mean, Jaclyn, make a really interesting, fun point. A little bit of speculation, but
Yeah.
I guess that's something that's possible. There probably should be changes. I agree with you. Some of these markets just can't keep up. How could a Pittsburgh, like you said, keep up with LA? Yeah, I mean, look, good for the Dodgers, good for the Mets, more good for the Dodgers, really. I'm gonna say. Um, I do have to wrap up in a second, but I
Yeah.
guess my
Well,
final point, Jaclyn, is just. Oh, I know
okay.
maybe you won't have a final point, so it's okay. You can have
Yeah.
last one. I was gonna say like
Okay.
I'm just sad, just honestly
Yeah.
sad is my final kind of.
Yeah. The quick thing I want to mention is that Bo is expected to play third base, which is really crazy to me because he is not a third baseman in the slightest. I don't think that will work out for the Mets. I just want to throw that out there that I think that's a really odd move to put Bo at third base. Something else I wanted to mention is that Cody Bellinger could be a possibility of us signing. Yankees player, there was talks, I think he wants like a 5-year, $150 million deal. Obviously, we can work with that if that's potential. I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm also I was listening to Blake Murphy and Kevin Barker talk on Blue Jays Talk this afternoon about it, and saying that maybe they'll wait at the trade deadline to make a big move because we saw them do that, right? We saw them get Shane Bieber, we saw them get Louis Varland, we saw them make moves at the trade deadline. So obviously, it would still be a failure of an offseason, but it wouldn't be a failure of a season necessarily. But my last note here is that the Blue Jays need one more bat. That's all I have to say. One more bat.
I'll add another thought. I think another bat's needed because I think Springer is going to regress, like I've said a few times on this podcast. Look, I wish the Jays, I wish the fans, the city, all the best. I think it's a failure of an offseason. One or two bats probably needed.
Yeah.
And right now, if I had to make a prediction and look into the crystal ball, I say the Jays come second in the AL East. And I don't know if that's good enough, but just off the cuff, I think they're going to come second in the AL East.
And listen, this is all of us saying now, like, Kyle Tucker could have a downfall of a year. The Dodgers could not be good next year. Like, we don't know, right? We saw Mookie Betts go through some, like, terrible slumps in baseball this regular season. So this isn't saying that the Dodgers are all of a sudden going to be this great team. But if you see them dominate all year, listen, I still have faith in our Jays. I still think that this Blue Jays team, one more bat, we can win the World Series. We got to this point without Bo Bichette. Bichette came for the World Series, which we ended up losing. He played in the only series that the Blue Jays lost in the postseason. So Bo didn't, obviously, he helped out in the regular season, best hitter in baseball, but we can get it done without him and Kyle Tucker. But one bat would be great to have, and also the pitching has gotten better as well. So I'm still confident the Blue Jays can win the World Series, and they will save baseball for us all. No lockout because the Blue Jays will win the World Series in 2026.
Hey, I hope the Jays win the World Series. Hopefully, maybe like you said, trade deadline, they get another bat.
Yeah.
Good luck to the Jays. It's a sad day to be a Jays fan, but you know what? The sun will come up tomorrow, and good luck to the Buffalo Bills tomorrow.
Good luck, Bills. Lots of football talk. We'll be back very soon to talk about football. Exciting stuff happening. Thank you all for watching. Go Jays, go. Bo, sad you left. I get it. Kyle Tucker, Blue Jays fans are not fans of you now and never will be. See you guys at Rogers Center eventually. Can't wait for whatever those games are. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.